Hey guys, what's up? My name is Chris. Welcome to my vlog. Today I'm going to be going over YouTube Secrets, a book by Sean Cannell and Benji Travis. So I'm going to be breaking this book down chapter by chapter for you with my notes into what I'm taking out of this book and how I'm going to apply it to my own online influence on YouTube. So guys, without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, chapter number 2, it's going to be clarity. Start with the end in mind. One of the things that I really like about Sean and Benji's approach is that they are always about asking yourself questions, okay? They're about defining the why and the how and all that stuff, and I think that's great because a lot of times, you know, even myself included, a lot of times when you're a new YouTuber, your overall goal is just to get out there and, you know, just run amok, go crazy, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes they pose these questions that say, hey, why are you really doing this and what are you really attempting to do? Which I think it's important to define that, you know, in the early stages. That way you kind of figure out, you know, how you're going to be able to make it all happen. So they were saying in this chapter that many people create their YouTube channel without a plan. And again, I think that's initially how I started out, and I'm starting to realize that I need to start questioning myself a little bit more. And some of the questions that they offer in this chapter are great. Questions like, you know, what is my goal for being on YouTube? You know, do I want to drive sales? Do I want to build an audience? Of course I want to build an audience. That's the whole point behind YouTube. It's all about numbers. Do you want to become famous? I don't want to become famous in the sense of like tabloids and stuff like that. I'm not trying to be like a movie star or anything like that, but I definitely want to build an audience and get viewership to where I can help people. It's not about me. It's about you guys. It's about you guys getting value out of what I'm doing. Okay. Do I want to build a community around my favorite hobby? Absolutely. Yeah, I would love to build a community. And that's one thing that, you know, Sean and Benji have done. They actually have 2 YouTube channels. One is called Think Media and the other is called Video Influencers. And they have built an amazing support community of people that are doing, you know, exactly what I'm trying to do and exactly what you're trying to do. And they have a lot of cool videos as to, you know, how to start making things happen, and not just about the background stuff, but about the foreground stuff. Like when you put up videos, you have to put up thumbnails. They had this one girl, I want to say her name is Heather Torres. She showed us how to do like thumbnail images on this application called Fonto or something like that, PHOTO or ONTO or something like that. I don't know, but I've been creating my own thumbnails now with that application because of something that they showed me. So this is like legitimate stuff that you're able to use in your everyday videos that is going to help you build, you know, a better following or a better experience for yourself. Okay, do you want to use YouTube as a creative outlet? Absolutely. I think I'm creative. I don't know. I might not be. Hopefully, you know, I'll be able to prove myself worthy in the next, you know, couple months to a couple years, you know, whatever. All right. So the 3 P's: passion, proficiency, and profit. So define your passion. My passion, I would say, is I like to help people. I really do, with information. I like to learn something and understand it well enough to where I can give it to somebody else and have them understand it too. Ultimately, that could be with anything. I used to be a dance instructor a long time ago. I used to teach ballroom dancing. And one of the things that really just drove me to do it was when I could show somebody something and then they could do it. You know what I mean? So that kind of drove me to become a better dancer, because when I first started, you know, I'm a white dude, and I was young, and I wasn't really that great at dancing, but, you know, I worked at it, and I got better at it. I learned more information, and then I developed a passion for that, and then I wanted to give that to somebody else. So it was a great experience when I could do that, and then they could eventually dance better because of the information that I gave to them. So it's kind of the same thing with my YouTube career. I want to give information to people that's going to help enrich in their lives. You know, I think YouTube is a great service. The people like Google and, you know, providing all these services to us, it's just amazing. I want to use this this platform to be able to do what I want to do, which again is help people. All right. So one of the things that they say is YouTube is a marathon and not a sprint, and that's so true. I have gotten a little bit of a slower start, but that's because of my own inefficiencies. I haven't been putting out consistent content, which that's something that we'll be able to talk about a little bit more in future chapters. But yeah, but it is a marathon. You know, a lot of people, they do not they do not experience overnight success right off the bat. They, it's a plan where they build up and they have to keep developing more and more content. Like I said, PewDiePie, he was not. I don't think he was actually, from what I know, I don't think he was popular right off the bat. It took him a while. It took him multiple videos per day, every day for a long time until he actually started to build up his audience into what it is now. Now, PewDiePie is also, I should probably put out a disclaimer, PewDiePie is a very rare YouTuber. I don't think that everybody's going to hit as many followers as he has, but that's just that's the nature of the beast. But, if you work hard, you can definitely put yourself, up, I believe, into, a higher number of followers just by working hard. So, all right. You don't have to be the most knowledgeable person on the subject that you are blogging about. That is absolutely true. I myself right now I'm blogging about vlogging and creating a YouTube success when I don't have a YouTube success myself. However, I'm working towards that. I'm educating myself. I am reading books. Hopefully, eventually, sooner or later, maybe I can get some coaching. I can attend some video cons, which is video conferences, to where I can figure out what other YouTubers are doing. I'm going to keep building my education, until I need to get to where I need to go. But until then, hey, why can't I put up some videos of my own? So anyway. What else? Yeah, so finding your zone. So basically, finding your zone is just talking about, where do you want to go and how you can build that roadmap to get there. First is you have to define who your target audience is. Like I said, for my personal blogs and my professional blogs, each of them has a different target market, and that's something that I'll have to define to myself at a later time. What I did was I actually created a Google Doc for each blog to try to define, who is my target market, what are they doing, what are their hobbies, what are their interests, what's their age, what's their, gender, location, stuff like that. And as time will go on, I'll be able to define that information a little bit more clearly, especially with the help of Google Analytics. So if you guys haven't heard yet, Google Analytics, awesome. So google.com/analytics. Try it out. All right. So yeah. So this part is also talking about if you try to reach everyone, you'll actually attract nobody. So that's true. I think the more narrow your focus is, the better your target audience is going to find you. So, I think like for example, learnstudentloans.com. That's a very, very vast subject. There are so many different parts to student loans, but one of the good things is that student loans is a subset of education. Now, if I did a blog on education, that'd be really hard because I'd have to talk about a lot of different topics. But with Learn Student Loans, it's just talking about primarily about federal student loans and how you can better your experience by getting the information that you need to help better equip you. All right, but yeah, so when you define your target audience, you have to ask yourself questions. Which again, that's one of the good things that Benji and Sean do. They pose questions to you, like how old is your audience? What are their hobbies? What are they interested in? Where do they come from? Stuff like that. Okay, the smaller you target your audience, in the beginning at least, the better or the faster you're going to grow. The more easily people will find you. Okay, and then once you define who your audience is, you kind of have to define who your services or how your services are going to operate. So, like, what are you going to offer them? For me, for student loans or learnstudentloans.com, I'm going to offer them education. I'm going to give them the information that they need to better successfully handle their loans. Because I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there or bad information that are coming directly from schools even, where they're not educating their student or parent borrowers in the best manner. So I want to help service that need that's out there to get students the correct information that they're going to want to better handle themselves with their student education. Okay, how often will you post videos? I'm thinking to start, I'm going to do at least one video a week, and then if it gets better, hey, maybe go on from there. Will you offer entertainment, education, inspiration, information, or motivation? Again, this all depends on the blog that you're actually putting out there or the channel that you're putting out there. Okay, so 10 questions that can help you define your target audience. Okay, are they male, female, or both? How old are they? You're probably going to want to pick a range within 5 years of your own age. So I'm a little bit outside of the target audience for when it comes to both not just the student borrower, but a parent borrower. Most student borrowers are anywhere from 18 to like 23 or 24, and then parent borrowers are in their 40s. I'm not quite at that point yet, but I was a student myself, so I do have experience in at least knowing, what's going on with the student loan industry. All right, so what types of jobs or professions do they have? Well, if they're students, they probably have jobs that are not, well-established jobs yet. They're still trying to figure themselves out. They're still going to school, stuff like that. For the parent borrowers, I mean, that could be a range of jobs. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to be or have a specific kind of job in order to send your kid to college. Hopefully, a better paying one. But if you don't, whatever. So I'll work with it. What are their passions? Well, their passions it could be a variety of things. All right, so what are the top 3 websites that they visit? Probably Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. Probably social media platforms. What are the top 3 influencers that they might watch on YouTube? That is something it's a little bit harder to get, I would imagine, because unless you have like a survey or something going on your website or your blog or your channel, most people aren't just going to create a comment and be like, oh, hey, by the way, I watched this. What are their social circumstances? Are they married, single? Do they have kids, family? What is their yearly income range? When it comes to online, I mean, anybody, especially YouTube, anybody can access your videos. So it might be a little bit tough to find some of these questions. What products or services might they spend their discretionary income on? Well, let's say there's 2 questions: their yearly income and the products or services they might spend their discretionary income on. Well, if I take a look at learnstudentloans.com, their yearly income range, it might be nothing because they're students. They're going to school. They might not have jobs. Generally they're taking out loans so they can pay for their room and board and stuff like that. What products or services might they spend their discretionary income on? Could be books, could be digital products like music that they can put in their iPhone or whatever. So that's like kind of things that I can use to define my own target audience. All right. So clarity is power, and a clear understanding of your end goal will help you reverse engineer the steps to get there. So yeah, so if you, like I said, if you define exactly where you want to go, it makes it a lot easier to create that roadmap to get there. So essentially that's what chapter 2 is about. And guys, I want to say thank you very much for watching this video. Stay tuned for chapter number 3, where we are going to discuss building a home for your content.